couples struggle with infertility. Imagine you're one of them. You've carefully selected a donor, you get pregnant, and give birth to a beautiful baby. Only to learn, decades later, your fertility doctor did not use that donor sperm that you chose. He used his own. It's called fertility fraud, and Eve Wiley says it's how she came to be.
Would you say that you're a product of your mother's abuser?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
This one's kind of cute.
When we first told you about Wiley last year, she and her mom had just learned Wiley's biological father was not the donor her parents selected. Her father was her mom's fertility doctor. That doctor is Kim McMorris out of Nacogdoches. That's McMorris there holding Wiley the day she was born. At the time, only he could have known he was the father. But that's just the tip of the iceberg.
A lot has changed.
Tell me about that.
So, oh man, I'm trying to think where to start.
Let's start in Houston with Jessica Stavina. Her father is also McMorris, her mom's fertility doctor, making Wiley and Stavina half-sisters. Stavina is speaking out for the first time after learning the truth through an at-home DNA kit.
You know, I didn't really know what to think or what to say. I was having a hard time, forming words.
The doctor has admitted it and told ABC News last year he knows of 1 to 2 babies who were born in the 80s using his sperm. So you might be excused for thinking Wiley and Stavina are it. Here's the thing, however, they're not. So far, DNA testing has confirmed at least 8, 4 girls, 4 boys, most of them asking to remain anonymous, but all of them half-siblings born in the late 70s to late 80s from the same father, Dr. McMorris.
These women, they trusted him. They trusted him to do exactly what they asked. He was their doctor. He was not their donor.
McMorris and his attorney declined our multiple requests for an interview. We also went to Nacogdoches and to the office where McMorris has practiced since 1981, but the doctor was nowhere to be found. In prior emails, though, he told Wiley when this occurred it was not considered wrong, and no one ever considered the effect of genetic testing 32 years later. You can probably imagine why these women say it's been an emotional roller coaster. Just imagine learning the people and the moments that make up your life aren't who or what you thought. Yet through it all, the most shocking thing is probably this.
He is still practicing. He is still seeing patients. He is still delivering babies.
You see, what McMorris did in the 80s wasn't illegal. So former patients and their children say the only way the doctor can be held accountable for his past conduct is through the revocation of his state medical license. The Texas Medical Board initially declined to take the McMorris case last year, saying his actions did not fall below the acceptable standard of care.
But first, a family bombshell that'll make your jaw drop.
Then WFAA aired its first story and the board reopened their investigation, this time looking at possible unprofessional and unethical conduct.
We chose 2 donors through California Cryobank.
In September, Wiley's mother, Margot Williams, and Stavina virtually testified against Dr. McMorris before the medical board. Williams told the board she never consented to what McMorris did.
He was our doctor, not our donor.
To stop the board from penalizing him and potentially revoking his license, McMorris is suing the board on the grounds that the statute of limitations has run out. The lawsuit claims the Texas legislature has said that after 7 years, so much time has passed that it is too difficult to know the truth with enough certainty to act against a physician's license. The board should be following that law, but it is not. The medical board tells WFAA it can't comment as this information is statutorily confidential.
there's a lot of secrecy, it seems like, behind the Texas Medical Board, and I just feel like, you know, they're there to protect us, right, as the patients, as the ones being treated by doctors. But it feels more like they're there to protect the doctors and hide the lies and deception behind, you know, some of their practice.
While the McMorris case remains held up in legal proceedings, the unregulated fertility industry is booming. In 2018, the fertility industry reportedly generated more than $13 billion and is expected to be a $27 billion industry by 2026. Yet experts say laws in the U.S. haven't kept pace.
The industry in the United States is so unregulated.
Dr. Jody Madeira is a nationally recognized legal expert on reproductive rights. The Indiana University law professor filed the initial complaint against McMorris, telling the medical board his actions were grossly unethical.
And it's a Goliath that's entirely unregulated. And so there's no agency like they have in, for example, the United Kingdom, the Human Fertilization and Embryo Authority, which determines which procedures will be used, which assesses which doctors can carry them out, which sort of maintains ethical and legal and regulatory controls over the business.
We found fertility fraud lawsuits filed in 16 states across the U.S., but only 4 states have laws against it. Laws that say doctors who use their own sperm to inseminate their unsuspecting patients constitutes sexual assault. Texas is one of them, passing legislation last year.
I am here to tell you the pain that this has caused my family.
And thanks in part to Wiley's advocacy, Florida, Indiana, and Colorado have since followed suit. But for her, that's not good enough.
It blows my mind that this is considered to be the wild, wild west. There needs to be consistent protocols. You need to have things in place to hold these doctors accountable so they don't do this. People need to be protected, and they need to know that they're not protected.
In Dallas, I'm Charlotte Huffman.